Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating it's Thursday, August 16th, 2018. In both the Lynn Life and the Jamie Body Mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, and all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as the souls are already participating in the work assigned to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us, and are already living by the many rules given to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us. Many presences continue to present the message of breathing difficulties.
That's true.
Many presences continue to present the messages of not wanting to look at the inconvenient future.
Oh, that's true.
In addition, we've had multiple clients that have come to these two healing practices of what we're beginning to think of as zombie lives.
That's true.
These are lives where sometimes the guardian angels literally think the person is dead, and we had guardian angels saying, well, can she fog a mirror? And
that's right.
I'm sorry I don't have a mirror in my healing room, but I can see her there, and I assure you she's in a body. And the guardian angel starts arguing and saying, well, you can see dead people, which is true that this collective can see dead people, so we have to turn to the mother who's right there in the room with her child and ask the mother, can you see dead people? And the mother says no. Can you see your daughter? Yes, I can see her. And then to the angel who's still kind of arguing and say,
oh yeah,
we assure you this body is alive. And the angel had thought that the body was dead and that the life was dead.
That's
and
true.
had ceased to give guidance and support to the life because was confused about the status of the body with regard to being living by our definitions or dead by our definitions, which
That's
are
true.
granted stilted definitions, and we acknowledge that point, but it's an important point if the angels are going to withdraw support when their perception is that the body has died.
That's true. And then over here we had this horse client where it seemed like the problem was the soul had come out of the body, maybe in the birth experience.
Oh yeah, and just slid out with the
just
placenta.
Slid out, and then the guardian angels for a while were trying to stay in connection with that soul, and then the soul drifted so far away that the guardian angels could tell something's not right, and then they drifted away, and then the life fell off the life path because there was nothing holding it on, and the soul plan fell out of the life. And then there was nothing for the life to hold on to.
Another zombie life.
That's right.
And then we have this most recent client
That's right.
Who seems to have been moved from one continent to another as a young child.
That's
and
true.
The soul stayed on the old continent, and
Yes.
the life was missing and presumed dead upstairs for long enough that the angels have declared her dead. Maybe 20 years ago she was declared dead, but she is alive, just without resident soul and without angelic support.
Yeah.
And the Talmud says every blade of grass has their angel bending over it, whispering, grow, grow. And in Islam it is thought that there are two angels, one to the left and one to the right.
That's true.
So it's really sad to find these zombie lives who are without souls and without angels.
Oh, that's true.
What now? What now? What now? How to help these lives who are still running but who do not have soul support? I see, I can't quite tell who's talking, but I can see that there isn't interest in the life, and that we already know this, and that what they're really interested in is the angels themselves, and that the angels do their jobs well. And
That's
if they do their
true.
jobs well, then the lives are receiving their proper support.
Oh, that's true.
But the presences who are supervising the angels are interested in supervising the angels. That's their job, and that's who we're working with, is presences who are supervising angels. And so it's not that they don't care about the zombie lives, but they don't care about the zombie lives.
Yeah, that's true.
They just care that angels are doing their jobs. And they're saying in the case of this client who's been missing and presumed dead since she was probably a baby,
That's true.
that that life's been declared dead. And we say, well, she's definitely not dead because she's contacting us about energy healing work, so
That's
presumably she's in a body.
That's true.
They say people outside of bodies contact you for energy healing work, and that's true
That's
too.
true, but normally not on emails we can see in the computer screen.
That's true. It's on a computer screen. It's by computer. Now they're arguing because it's a Skype session, which we have with people. You can Skype with clients all over the world. Because it's a Skype session, that it makes it problematic to discern whether or not that body is alive.
That's what they just said.
Maybe we stretch longer.
That could be the problem.
And maybe we rotate to face forward, and knowing that there's so much resistance to seeing inconvenient reality, let's just keep the eyes closed but feel our way forward. And it has a certain feel, that city of the dead.
Yes, it does.
And when we are holding it, it feels a certain crumbly way.
Yes, it does.
And if it has that crumbly quality and it does not have the Atlantis quality, then we're probably facing forward.
Oh, that's so
and
calming.
placing our hands on that which is the city of the dead, which is the immediate and pressing issue.
That's true.
There we go. Now, how do we help these zombie lives? How do we help these zombie lives? They're saying, what happened to the soul plan? We have the soul plan, and it's very thin and ghostly and skeletal, as it would be for a very young child whose details have not been fleshed out. All that's there is the skeleton of it, and it's wispy, presumably because it hasn't been treated as living by the guardian angels. That's
true.
our best guess, us as a
That
community.
is my best guess over here also.
But it's still there, and when that body dies, as is inevitable, that body's resident souls of the cells are going to go up for checkout, and that's what they're going to be held accountable for.
That's true.
Again, where our attention is being brought to the cellular souls, and nobody upstairs is interested in that life, but there is a solution for these zombie lives, and the solution comes from the cellular level souls.
That's true.
And to the cellular level souls, these lives in this dimension have no problems.
That's true.
They have, nobody's bombing them. They have usually safe places to sleep. They usually have plenty of available food, probably too much available food.
That's true.
They have access to fresh water that's reasonably uncontaminated. They have sometimes indoor plumbing.
That's true.
And air conditioning and heat. Really, what more could anybody possibly ask for? This is far beyond the standards of royalty if we look at the historical expectations of life
That's true.
on this planet in this dimension for this species, or for any species, for goodness sake.
That's true.
The point being, those cellular souls will think they died and have gone to heaven if they are pulled up out of the depths of the cells and deposited up into the lives at these levels.
That's true.
So there is a solution. There is soul energy that wants to be in those so-called zombie lives. What now? What now? What now? What now? How to help well-intentioned guardian angels do their jobs. Oh, now it's just very quiet.
That's true.
It has that quiet of a room of people who knows that they're going to need to change something. They haven't begun saying it out loud.
Oh, that's true.
But it feels possibly unanimous in that room, the consensus of, we're going to have to change something.
That's true.
Okay. What now to help well-intentioned guardian angels do their jobs, particularly with regard to these zombie lives? Oh, here comes somebody, and I think they're going to pull up the cables like they do sometimes when the broadcast just gets too inconvenient.
Yes, that's true.
That's why they're walking over. There they go. Now they're pulling up the cables.
That's true.
Okay. We stretch longer. Rotate forward. And breathe. Maybe we also pump up dead children from wherever Pan is working below, straight up the Ground Zero host life spines, up through the Underground Railroad. Because if the visiting souls aren't interested in helping evacuate the depths, then they aren't really living by the soul plans of these bodies, and
That's
therefore
true.
they're not the qualifying souls, and therefore it's not these bodies' jobs to protect and support those souls. It's the body's job to protect and support the qualifying soul, and if Pan isn't a qualifying soul, then we don't have one.
That's true.
And someone's asking why. We've been through this many, many, many times, but it's okay, we can go through it again. Pan has been working on the assignments given to the Search for Truth community reasonably consistently. They don't want to see it.
No, they don't.
Or say it, but it's still true. Reasonably consistently for over 2 years now, maybe 2.5 years. And nobody else has hung in here really more than, we'll say, a month. But the truth is usually not more than a week, and the truth is usually not more than a day or two.
That's true.
And so that's a pretty wide margin of error.
Well, that's true.
And therefore Pan is the qualifying soul as long as he is continuing to participate at some reasonable level that's more than anybody else. Why do you ask? And for whom is the message? Do you hear anything?
No.
It's very clearing.
It's very
They're
clear.
quiet.
There's a lot of space up there now.
Maybe we just pump up dead children up through the space.
That's
and
really
breathe.
calming.
Horses. Dogs. The wind. None of this would have been audible in Sarasota. The roar of the traffic and of lawn noise would have covered it.
That's true.
What else can we hear here that we would not be able to hear in an urban center? Somebody says, I know, and it's that voice that we should listen to, one of those very good observers.
That's true.
We can hear souls. It's really, really hard to hear souls in urban centers.
That's true.
Somebody says you can hear the cries of the damned. And I think that's true. You can hear the shrieks of the ghouls. You can.
That's true.
Helpful souls, maybe. There's a difference between souls who are intending to make a positive difference and other souls.
That's true.
It's easy to make a difference. It's difficult to make a positive difference. All you have to do is knock the top off a mountain. There, you've made a difference,
That's
but it's
true.
not positive.
No.
Knock down a tree. Easy enough done. We could do it with a chainsaw.
That's true.
With these hands and a chainsaw, we could cut down a really big tree.
Oh, yeah.
Reasonably safely.
That's
We
true.
know how to do it. But that's not a positive difference.
No, that's true.
People respond better in nature. People of all species respond better in nature. It isn't going to work without the natural realms. It actually isn't. Presences look up more when they're in nature. We need
That's true.
nature. And friends, I don't know who's speaking, somebody's speaking. I don't know how to say this more clearly than I've already said it. This isn't a joke. This isn't a drill. All life is collapsing predominantly from the collapse of integrity, and it's time for us to stop playing silly games and work together to mitigate the disaster. It's really time for us to put down our silly game playing and work together to mitigate the disaster. Each of us as individuals doing what we know they, quote unquote, should do. When we find ourselves saying they, quote unquote, should really A or B or C, then what that means is that we as individuals need to A and B and C. It's up to us to do it, each of us for ourselves.
That's true.